Hey there, how's it going? Ever felt that sinking feeling of forgetting everything you've learned in English? You know, that sensation that your skills are fading away. Relax, don't despair. I know exactly how you feel. In today's video, I'm going to show you the cat's leap that will unlock your English once and for all. I'm going to reveal secrets that range from how to focus on your studies strategically to the importance of daily practice to achieve fluency. Stay tuned, because Learn English Secrets will show you the path to success in English. And if you want more tips like this, you know the drill. Run down here, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. After all, this transformation is just a click away. So, let's go. Strategic focus. Think about it. What's the point of rowing with all your might if you don't know where you're going? In learning English, it's the same thing. The ideal method isn't the one that demands more time from you, but the one that guides you with clarity and helps you focus your energies on what really matters. It's as if you were putting together a puzzle. If you try to fit the pieces randomly, it'll take forever. But if you start with the edges, separating the pieces by color and shape, you'll quickly have the complete picture. And speaking of pieces, each of us has a unique way of learning. Some people love video lessons, others prefer to read books, and there are those who learn best by talking to other people. The important thing is for you to know yourself and adapt your study routine to your pace and preferences. This way, learning becomes more natural, light, and of course, much more effective. Imagine you're training for a marathon. You're not going to start by running 42 kilometers on the first day, right? You're going to start with shorter distances, gradually increasing the intensity of the workouts. In English, it's the same thing. Start with small, achievable goals, such as learning 10 new words a day, or watching one episode of an English series per week. The important thing is to celebrate each small victory and keep the motivation up. And don't forget, the right strategy is the key that opens the doors to the universe of English. With a good plan in hand, you'll master the basics of the language quickly and be ready to explore increasingly advanced levels. It's as if you were building a building. Start with a solid foundation, and soon you'll be up there at the top, admiring the view. Fundamental base. Let's talk about the base, the foundation of English. Many people think that learning English is just about boring grammar and endless lists of words, but the truth is that the language is much more than that. It stands on 4 essential pillars: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Mastering each of these skills is the secret to becoming truly fluent. Think about it. You can't build a house without a good foundation, right? In English, it's the same thing. Grammar and vocabulary are the foundations that support all other skills. Without a solid base, it's difficult to build coherent sentences, understand what people are saying, and communicate with confidence. It's as if you're learning to play a musical instrument. You need to know the notes, chords, and scales before you start improvising and creating your own melodies. In English, it's the same thing. You need to master the basic grammar and vocabulary before you start reading, writing, listening, and speaking fluently. And the coolest thing is that these 4 skills are interconnected. The more you read, the better you write. The more you listen, the better you speak. It's as if it were a virtuous cycle. Each skill strengthens the others, making learning more dynamic and efficient. Imagine you're learning to ride a bike. At first, you need to pay attention to every movement, balancing your body, pedaling, braking. But over time, everything becomes automatic, and you don't even need to think about what you're doing anymore. In English, it's the same thing. The more you practice, the more natural and intuitive the process becomes. So don't forget, investing in the base is fundamental to your success in English.
With a solid base, you'll be prepared to face any challenge and achieve your goals with confidence and security. And speaking of goals, what is your biggest dream in English? Studying abroad? Getting a better job? Watching movies without subtitles? Tell me in the comments, I want to know!
Grammar and vocabulary. Many people think they are separate things, but the truth is that they complement and strengthen each other. It's as if they were the rice and beans of the language. You can't have one without the other. Think about it. What's the point of knowing all the grammar rules if you don't have the vocabulary to build sentences? And what's the point of knowing a lot of loose words if you don't know how to put them together coherently? The key is to study grammar and vocabulary simultaneously to ensure a perfect balance in your language training. It's as if you were learning to cook. You need to know the ingredients and the preparation techniques to create delicious dishes. In English, it's the same thing. You need to master the grammar and vocabulary to build clear, precise, and interesting sentences. Learning rules and words side by side strengthens your linguistic structure and avoids that feeling of having disconnected knowledge. And the coolest thing is that joint practice makes it simpler to memorize and apply what you've learned. Building sentences with what you've studied reinforces the retention of the contents and connects theory with practice. It's as if you were learning to drive. You need to put your hand on the steering wheel and drive on the street to really learn. In English, it's the same thing. You need to use the language in real situations to internalize the rules and vocabulary. This integration prepares you to explore contextual learning methods, bringing studies closer to reality.
Vocab by theme. Now let's talk about organizing words by themes. Seems silly, but this strategy can make all the difference when memorizing and using new words. Think about it. When you go to the supermarket, you don't pick up the products randomly, right? You organize your purchases by categories: fruits and vegetables, meats, dairy products, etc. This way, it's much easier to find what you need and optimize your time. In English, it's the same thing. Organizing vocabulary by themes facilitates memorization and practical use of words. Grouping related words encourages practical use during daily conversations and makes the terms part of your everyday life. It's as if you were learning to plant a garden. You need to know the different types of plants, their needs, and how to grow them to have a healthy and productive garden. In English, it's the same thing. The more you use words in your daily life, the easier it becomes to internalize them and use them naturally. This technique avoids memorizing isolated and out-of-context lists and connects the vocabulary to real situations, making learning more lasting. It's as if you were learning to make a cake. You can follow the recipe step by step, but if you don't understand the function of each ingredient, the cake may not turn out as expected. In English, it's the same thing. The more you understand the context in which words are used, the easier it becomes to understand and use them correctly. The categorization of terms makes the review more objective and dynamic, and creates a network of meanings that helps to fix the language. It's as if you were learning a new language. You can study grammar and vocabulary, but if you don't practice conversation, you'll hardly become fluent. In English, it's the same thing. The more you review and practice vocabulary, the easier it becomes to internalize it and use it with confidence. By adopting this strategy, you prepare yourself to put English into practice more safely. It's as if you were learning to swim. You can read books and watch videos about swimming, but if you don't get into the pool and practice, you'll never learn to swim for real. In English, it's the same thing. The more you expose yourself to the language and use it in real situations, the faster and easier learning becomes.
Active practice. Many people think that just reading books and watching movies is enough to become fluent. But the truth is that practice is fundamental to internalizing knowledge and developing fluency. Speaking, listening, and repeating are fundamental exercises to develop fluency, and activating your voice and ear makes English a part of your routine. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes to internalize the language and use it naturally. Building sentences and speaking aloud stimulates confidence and reduces inhibition, and active practice transforms theoretical study into a real experience. It's as if you are learning to cook. You can read recipe books and watch cooking shows, but if you don't get your hands dirty and experiment, you'll never become a real chef. In English, it's the same thing. The more you expose yourself to the language and use it in real situations, the faster and easier learning becomes. Practical exercises help correct errors and improve pronunciation, and with each attempt, you get closer to naturalness in communication. It's as if you were learning to play a musical instrument. You can read books and watch videos about music, but if you don't pick up the instrument and practice, you'll never become a real musician. In English, it's the same thing. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to identify and correct your mistakes and improve your pronunciation. Listening to real examples and imitating intonation is an efficient way to learn, and this technique brings you closer to how natives use the language. It's as if you're learning to dance. You can watch videos of professional dancers, but if you don't get up and practice, you'll never become a real dancer. In English, it's the same thing. The more you listen to natives speaking and imitate their intonation, the easier it becomes to internalize the language and use it naturally. Integrating these daily practices brings you into the universe of real communication, paving the way for constant self-assessment. Now, we're getting close to the end, but before continuing, I'm sure this content has helped you and is so good that it deserves at least a like, doesn't it? So, if you liked it and felt like you learned something here, give that like to help us continue bringing you incredible tips.
Constant self-assessment. Ever stop to think that testing your knowledge is like giving your English a checkup? No need to be afraid, It's super important to know what you already master and where you need to give an extra boost. It's like a game. You review, try, make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes. Learn from your mistakes and try again. Each mistake is one more step on your journey towards fluency. And the best of all is that you don't need to wait for a super formal test to self-assess. It could be something simple like trying to remember the name of objects in English, watching a video and seeing if you can understand what they're saying, or even writing a small text about your day. The important thing is to challenge yourself constantly. And don't worry about being perfect right away. No one is born knowing. The important thing is to have the humility to recognize that you still have a lot to learn and the desire to improve every day. When you self-assess, you can identify your strengths and weaknesses. This helps you direct your studies to the areas that you need to improve the most. For example, if you realize that you have difficulty understanding spoken English, you can stop watching more movies and series in English, listening to podcasts or music. If the problem is grammar, you can review the rules and do exercises. The important thing is to have an action plan to overcome your challenges. And don't forget to celebrate your achievements. Every time you learn something new, when you can understand a conversation in English, when you can write a text without errors, celebrate. This will give you more motivation to continue learning. Self-assessment helps you to have more confidence in yourself. When you realize that you are progressing, that you're learning more and more, you feel more capable and confident to use English in real situations. And this confidence is fundamental to achieving fluency.
So don't be afraid to test yourself. Self-assessment is a powerful tool to help you learn English more quickly and effectively. Use it in your favor and get ready to achieve your goals.
Organized routine. Ever heard that saying, he who fails to plan, plans to fail? In learning English, this phrase makes perfect sense. Having an organized routine is like having a treasure map that takes you straight to the pot of gold of fluency. Imagine you were building a house. You don't start throwing bricks randomly, right? You need a project, a schedule to know what to do at each stage of construction. With English, it's the same thing. You need a plan to know what to study, when to study, and how to study. The first step is to define your goals. What do you want to achieve with English? Want to travel abroad? Want to get a better job? Want to watch movies and series without subtitles? Having a clear goal will give you more motivation to keep going, even when things get tough. Then you need to create a study schedule. Define how much time you will dedicate to English per day or per week. It can be 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. The important thing is that it's a time that you can fulfill even on the busiest days. And don't forget to vary your studies. Don't just stick to grammar, vocabulary, reading. Vary the activities to make learning more fun and effective. Watch videos, listen to music, read books, chat with natives, do grammar exercises, learn new words. And to help you maintain the routine, how about using a planner or organization app? There are several apps that help you organize your studies, set goals, track your progress, and remind you to study every day. Try some out and see which one works best for you. Remember that consistency is key. It's no use studying 10 hours in one day and then spending a week without studying. It's better to study a little every day than a lot once in a while. And don't push yourself too hard. If you can't keep up with the schedule on one day, don't despair. Just resume your studies the next day and move on. The important thing is not to give up. Listen creatively. Have you been told that the key to understanding English for real is to listen, listen, and listen? But it's not just putting on a podcast and letting it roll, you know? You have to listen creatively, paying attention to every detail, like a detective unraveling a mystery. You know when you're listening to a song that touches you deep now? You don't just hear the words, you feel the emotion, the rhythm, the melody. With English, it's the same thing. You need to connect with the language. Pay attention to the intonation, the accent, the nuances of the language. A super cool technique to train your ear is shadowing. Ever heard of it? It's as if you were the shadow of a native speaker. You hear a sentence and repeat it immediately, trying to imitate the pronunciation, the rhythm, the intonation. At first, it may seem a bit strange, but with practice, you will begin to internalize the way natives speak. And don't stick to teaching materials. Listen to music, podcasts, watch videos on YouTube, movies, and series in English. The more you expose yourself to real English, the faster you will get used to the different accents and ways of speaking. Oh, and since we're talking about accents, which one is your favorite? American, British, Australian? Tell me in the comments which one sounds most pleasant to you and why. Who knows, maybe a future video just about that will happen. And don't worry about understanding everything at first. In the beginning, you will understand some words, some sentences. But over time, your brain will begin to recognize patterns, associate sounds, and fill in the gaps. An important tip is to start with easier materials and gradually increase the difficulty. For example, start watching cartoons in English, and then move on to movies and series. Listen to songs with simple lyrics, and then move on to more complex songs. And don't be afraid to use subtitles.
In the beginning, subtitles can help you understand what is being said, but try not to depend on them forever. Try watching videos and movies without subtitles from time to challenge your brain. Remember that the goal is not to understand every word, but to understand the overall message. If you can understand the context, even if you don't understand all the words, it's already the big step forward. With the practice, you will begin to understand more and more. And the best thing is that you will begin to have fun with the process. After all, learning English can be a very enjoyable experience.
Oral expression. The first tip is don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, even natives. The important thing is not to let yourself be paralyzed by the fear of error. Use the error as a learning opportunity. Analyze what you did wrong, correct it, and move on. A super cool way to practice speaking is to simulate real situations. Imagine you're in a restaurant ordering food, in a hotel checking in a store buying clothes. Create dialogues and practice aloud. You can practice along with a friend or with a teacher. Another important tip is to record your speech. At first, it may be a bit strange to hear your own voice, but it is a very effective way to identify your strengths and weaknesses. Pay attention to your pronunciation, your rhythm, your intonation. What can you improve? And don't limit yourself to practicing speaking only with natives. Talk to other English learners. You can exchange tips, practice speaking, and motivate each other. Oh, and don't forget to use English in your daily life. Think in English, talk to yourself in English, write shopping lists in English, use apps and sites in English. The more you expose yourself to the language, the faster you'll internalize the words and expressions. And if you don't have someone to practice with, don't worry. There's several apps and sites that connect you with native speakers from all over the world. You can chat by text, audio, or video. Remember that practice makes perfect. The more you practice speaking, the more confident you'll become. And the more confident you feel, the easier it'll be to communicate in English.
Daily consistency. Think of it this way. Learning English is like going to the gym. If you work out hard one day and then go a month without training, you won't see results. Now, if you train a little bit every day, you will start to see the difference in your body and your energy. The first step is to set a time to study English every day. It can be in the morning, before going to work or school, in the afternoon after lunch, or at night before bed. The important thing is that it is a time that you can fulfill, even on the busiest days. Then, you need to create a study routine. Define what you will study on each day of the week. For example, on Monday, you can study grammar. On Tuesday, vocabulary. On Wednesday, reading. On Thursday, writing. And on Friday, conversation. And don't forget to include fun activities in your study routine. Watch videos on YouTube, listen to music, read books, play games in English. The important thing is that you have fun while learning. To help you maintain consistency, how about using a reminder app? There are several apps that remind you to study English every day. Try some out and see which one works best for you. Remember that consistency is more important than quantity. Don't worry about studying for hours and hours every day. It's better to study 30 minutes every day than 2 hours once a week. And don't push yourself too hard. If you can't study on one day, don't despair. Just resume your studies the next day and move on. The important thing is not to give up. With daily consistency, you'll be able to learn English more quickly and effectively. And the best thing of all is that you'll feel more motivated and confident to achieve your goals. Conclusion. Hey everyone, did you enjoy unlocking the secrets of English with me today? I hope so. Now that you have the treasure map in hand, it's time to put everything into practice and see the magic happen. Remember, focus, solid base, turbocharged grammar, thematic vocabulary, active practice, constant self-assessment, organized routine, creative listening, oral expression, and, of course, daily consistency. And before I forget, if this video helped you clarify your ideas and gave you that extra boost for your English study, you know what to do, right? Leave that smart like down here for us to continue bringing you incredible content. And if you're not yet part of our class, run over there, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any news. And now, as usual, let's test your listening superpowers. Ready? Today's secret phrase is, English without practice is like... So, what did you understand? Complete that phrase creatively here in the comments. I want to see your imagination flying high. And remember, with Learn English Secrets, the secret of your success in English is within your reach. Continue practicing and exploring the Learn English Secrets by watching this video or checking out this playlist right here. See you in the next video.